couple people that we talked to recently have brought up Codex Alimentarius.
Yes.
Why is that something that people probably should know a little bit more about, and what are some of the ramifications should that get passed down the road here?
Well, in the 1960s, the United Nations established this Codex Alimentarius, which was designed ultimately to harmonize all of the countries of the world in their basically their regulations surrounding food and supplements as such, to make it common. Now, seems sort of benign, but when you realize these global organizations have very strong links and ties to what's known as the global pharmaceutical industrial complex, you realize that the harmonization is more or less to limit the access to let's say, medicinal quantities, if you will, viable quantities of these supplements or nutrients or nutrition, and then basically relegate it to a place where it really can do very little, which would of course give a tremendous competitive advantage to the drug industry, which is dealing with sickness, the illness, disease care model. And so in terms of UN, there's international treaties that companies, or let's say countries, align themselves with by signing on to these treaties that make them liable to bring your laws into harmony with that. And so what we're seeing now through even the interpretation of the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, DSHEA, there's a new thing about NDI, new dietary ingredients since 1994. We are now at risk right now of losing about 75% of all supplements that, all of them that have come about since 1994 when DSHEA was passed. And this fits right into this harmonization context or concept where they want to treat nutrients as drugs, make it so you have to have these analysis and tests and trials done to the point where it's so cost prohibitive, and in the end you couldn't patent it anyway, no one could recoup their investment. So it basically wipes out through fiat, through government mandate, a viable sector of the economy, the global economy and the US economy in this case. And we're seeing closer and closer this incremental globalism creeping in as the FDA is wanting to endorse and embrace this kind of concept, despite the people of the U.S., putting DSHEA up and having that, come through, because they didn't want this type of regulation to eliminate their access to this. So right now we are at a very close precipice point, if we're not already over it, where we may lose access to this, which could bring a big health revolt in this country. So it isn't just something far afield. Listen, in the United States we're already having a lot of restrictions, but in Europe they've already lost access, and next year even more access to these supplements. I just interviewed Dr. Rob Verkerk from the Alliance for Natural Health recently on my show, and we talked about that this is what portends to happen here in America if we are not able to roll this thing back.
So what would happen? It would be harder to go get your vitamins, vitamin B, vitamin C at the stores? Or
yeah, if you have
selenium,
access
like
to any of them, they would be in very limited dose quantities. But many of the innovative nutrients, combination nutrients that are considered new dietary ingredients, would be pulled completely from the marketplace, unless they could have, not only the NDI, which was designed to be a pre-market, not authorization, but notification. Here, FDA, we've got this supplement, we're coming to market. We don't need your approval, we're just letting you know so you can know it's there. And if something happens, if there are adverse events, okay, we can, but that's not the way they're interpreting it. They're saying, oh, we need pre-market authorization, which is basically drug approval for food, for supplements, no, that's not right, and that's the way it's being interpreted in this case.